Hello, welcome to the Peter Repeater. I am Peter. Hello, welcome to the Peter Repeater, episode 49. This one is quite exciting because it's all live here in the studio. Everything's up and running, everything's live. I should probably adjust the camera a little bit to get me more in there a little bit more. Very, very exciting stuff. So here I am with the camera. Yeah, so we're live here. We're very excitable. We've got the new studio set up, and it's very tempting never to get rid of it because it's so difficult to set up. But that's okay. We'll soldier on. So what have I been up to since the last time I was here? I've watched podcasts. I had a bit of a wobbly time. I say wobbly time as I feel like anxiety and almost on the verge of a panic attack, and I'm not able to watch videos. I felt like that after the last time I did a podcast, something to do with it exhausting me. So hopefully I can do a podcast and not feel wobbly afterwards. So what day was that? That was possibly Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, now it's Thursday and I'm feeling fine. So what is this podcast about? Well, there's lots of different narratives going on, lots of different opinions, and this podcast is basically me sitting down and seeing what sticks, what I can say. Got my MKBHD shirt, I got my microphone, and we're all up and running. And I'm very pleased to say that this is the best part of my life, really, is just sharing with you how there's not much going on. So the podcasts that I've listened to, this morning I was listening to The Portal by Eric Weinstein. He hasn't uploaded for a long time, but he decided to upload an older episode that he felt a bit scared to upload because it was too controversial, but apparently now it's not controversial enough, so that's good. And so I've been watching most of that. I hope he does more episodes because he was just worried about becoming famous and that being a problem, so he didn't want to upload too much. Becoming famous is not a concern of mine because it's so far away. I just talk about how I feel and everything. So, yeah, I'm at a stage in my life where I can just be healthy and happy and just focus on my well-being, because I truly believe that if your well-being is there, everything else falls into place and everything else follows well. Because when I'm mentally unwell, I go down a year or something and you miss out on opportunities and stuff. And I've been fairly fortunate that I've been able to get a couple of good things done, get my A levels and my further education after that, alongside work, and it's just really, to have anything on my CV at all, I'm really blessed. And ever since coronavirus, I've just been struggling really, because when the world falls apart, I suppose I fall apart as well. So it was to be expected, but I've come out the other side of it all right. So what is the things that occupy my mind? I like to think about checking my banking and checking my money, because what I've done is I've put in my savings in stocks and shares and cryptocurrencies, so I can watch them go up and down, and I can have a bit of fun with that. And I just hope that I can just have a bit of fun with life, and watching my banking go up and down sort of takes away from the fun of life, but it is like a dopamine addiction. It's my social media is checking how much money I have. I suppose it's not that unhealthy, but because I don't have Twitter, I don't waste my time on that. I do sometimes go to on Instagram, and I'll go to that and I will just look at some photos of the surrounding Cornwall area. It's quite nice. And I like uploading to Instagram sometimes. My Instagram is Peter Newing, Newing, for the surname, and it's just trying to get yourself out there, really. Trying to get yourself having a persona and making money off my YouTube channel and just having something to do, having a hobby. I find that important. But I like just talking, because I don't really talk about stuff to people because I don't really interact with people. I could blame it on the pandemic, but I think it's my life. It's just there's not much talking to everyone, and I'm not really helping myself out the best way possible. But that's okay. So yeah, I'm just fortunate to have this setup, really, because it's actually quite a complicated setup, and I was trying to record it and not do it live, but doing it live is so much easier because it just processes it quicker, and it just works straight away, and people can dip in and out of it. And it's just the best thing about being live is just that it works, because I was trying to film it, but my camera only lasts like half an hour. So I uploaded 2 podcasts where the end part of the video just wasn't there, and I had in text, sorry, no video. And then I tried to press record again last time, and it wasn't working. And even though this live stream is a bit more of an ordeal to set up, it's just a lot easier. And looking out the window is somebody wearing a mask. The world we live in is yeah. But I'm here. I'm happy. I might get exhausted from talking and feel wobbly later on, but hopefully not. I suppose I read a book about anxiety, and a lot of the book was looking at people finding the cause of their anxiety and seeing it in a more positive way, and seeing that they don't have a reason to be anxious for that. I'll be honest with you, the cause for my anxiety, I think, is God, because I'm not sure if there is one. And that's quite a source of anxiety. And whenever I'm unwell, it's always related to God, to be honest. And the first time I ever become unwell, I was just really not too good. It's sort of an unstable part of your life, really, and you want it to be a stable part of your life, and the fact that there is or there isn't a God is sort of instability. So what I did on the run up to me not being well, I wrote a book, An Unbelievable God by Peter Newing, and that way I've got it out there in the open. I've got my opinion out there, and people can view my opinion and they can read up on it, and I've got it all out of my head, and I didn't realize I had it in my head, to be honest. um let's just think, is it working? Yeah, I think it is working. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's working. It's working. I leaned forward and then it leaned forward in the picture. Yeah, it's just a bit of fun, really. So cryptocurrency, what are that about? What are they about? Well, it's following the financial crash in 2008, and the fact that money is a little bit easy to, like, they have inflation and you have quantitative easing, where you print money out of nothing and you create it, and then all the money becomes less valuable. And it's not as you have a centralized body that governs everything. So it means people don't have as much freedom, and it means that people can find themselves getting stuck in I don't know, in money because people are stopping them from doing what they want. So Bitcoin was the first one invented, and it's got a market capitalization. It's got a monopoly on it at the moment. But that is decentralized, so you just have the currency securing each other, and it's all very clever. And then you also have lots of other cryptocurrencies trying to do the same thing, but slightly more complicated with more layers on top of it. So yeah, so that's all about that really. And back in the day, I was always on this YouTube. Yeah, so the cryptocurrency world, that's part of my savings. I have it in cryptocurrency, and it's all working well, and I'm happy about it. So that's something that I really enjoy and relish and care about. I just hope that everything all works out and everything's happy, and I think I'm live. Yeah, I'm live. I'm definitely live. Just you get worried about it all. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. What does it say here? Yeah, I think I'm live. Let's just say I'm live and it's all working correctly. We could check it, but yeah, we just we don't have the time. We're just here talking really. So how is everything? Yeah, I'm healthy and I'm trying to save money, so it's quite good. And I think I will save money. I watch it go up and down. I'm invested in um, lots of different revenues, streams of revenue. I don't know what I'm saying. Lots of different assets in the stock market. I've got Spotify, Microsoft, PayPal, and there's a list of them, and they're the companies that I like. And overall, they're up since I got them, so it's good. Some of them are down, some of them up. Overall, it's up. And then in the cryptocurrency world, I have Cardano, Ethereum, Chainlink, and Dash. They're the ones I like the most. And one day, the world will be using some of them. So yeah, so it's good to keep on to it. Yeah, so I have free time. I make the most out of my free time, and I look after myself, which is the number one aim, and I'm happy doing everything, and I just feel that everything works out quite nicely together, and I really like it. So all things considered, I think I will focus on my life and yeah, just stay well. You can put too much pressure on yourself that you have to be the best at something, but you don't have to. You can just stay well and happy and get by. Um, that's sort of what I want to do. And I'm going to be a student. Mentioned this countless times before. I'm going to be studying, so looking forward to that adventure. But here and now, I'm just fairly content in everything, keeping to myself. I would like to meet people. That would be quite nice, but it can be difficult during the lockdown. So maybe after the lockdown, I can venture into the world of dating. Maybe that's a good way of meeting people. Or I could find a hobby, take a bus there. It's probably a good idea if I did that. I'm just fed up with all this mask wearing, even though it's all good and it helps a lot, but it's just quite a strain on everything. And yeah, I think it helps out, but it's just the world we live in. It's just crazy. It's like, when is this mask wearing gonna stop? Probably never. That's not not what you want to hear, really. That we'll just be wearing masks forever. Um, but as pandemics go, like the death rate isn't that bad. Um, yeah, I watched a podcast about this sort of epidemiologist type person who he wasn't necessarily trained in that field, but he was some sort of professor at Yale and he's writing a book about the coronavirus. So he's sort of become an epidemiologist just by looking into it. And he's just talking about all the different effects, all the different like there's different you could have like facts like 90% effective vaccine, but what does that mean? Does it mean that 90% of people don't get critically ill, or is it 90% of people don't die, or is it 90% of people don't get any symptoms? Because if it means that it stops people getting symptoms, but the death rate could still be the same, so like a solid figure is based on one component of a trial, and they don't fully outline what it exactly means. Because really, all that matters is sort of the deaths. But then when you consider that it's the old people dying, then maybe you should count it as how many years of life expectancy lost. But then it gets a bit tricky. Um, so and then you have people dying of coronavirus, but they also have an underlying condition that would have kept them um, unwell and stuff like that. This setup is very cool. I'm very happy, very privileged to be a part of this setup. I just found the exact one wire that I needed, and then since then everything is a breeze. Everything works perfectly, and here podcasting, and really appreciate the support, the amount of attention I get online. It's really helpful for my self-esteem. Yeah, I've got to do more of it because I've had my channel growing in the past, but you just got to keep at it, keep the momentum going, and hope for the best. Um, I really I like YouTube. I back in the day, I had a knee surgery, and I was at home bored, and I just talked to myself on a camera, and I put it on YouTube, and then people started watching me, and from that, I had quite a following, and I would get quite a lot of views all in one go, and I got managed to get like 1,000 views on a couple of videos, and that felt really good, and I'm glad I had that at the time, but I haven't had it since. But I think the fact that I don't give up, that I'm still posting content, regardless, and just keeping at it and making the most out of the time I have and everything. I find that very useful. Um, so what is it about my life that I can share to you that's quite interesting? I'm quite good at doing stuff. When I'm doing it, I'll finish it. Like, yeah, quite a lot of people can do that as well, but I can do that. So when I'm doing a qualification, I'll finish the qualification. I'm quite good at that, and I haven't dropped out halfway through something. I've sort of dropped out before I could begin really. Although I did drop out on my sixth form, but then I went back in it again, and I was able to do that for 2 years. Yeah, it was a slow 2 years, but it got me here, got me to this position of having because people go into a degree, but then they end up doing a degree that doesn't really get them a job. So there's lots of people with degrees, but they're not using it to the best of their ability. And I've got the perfect degree for like the perfect job. So I'm really happy about that. And I'm happy that I'm on board with such a program. And I just always say it, but I just want to be a student. I want to live that life. I want to be learning. and I get to do that. I'd quite happily do it next week, to be honest, but I have to wait months till September. So in that time, I just focus on what's important, focus on what matters, and focus on what I can get out of life. And it's just a bizarre concept, this world that I live in. Um, Existence. Yeah, it's just like when I feel bad, I just can't think of anything else. I just feel wobbly, and this is my anxiety that I get sometimes. But most of the time, I feel completely fine and able to do stuff, and I feel content with life, and that's something that I really cherish. So, what's going on with this podcast setup? We've got lots of things going on. We've got just plenty of lots of technical decisions going on, and everything's all working well. And I just feel that I got my life back. Yeah, I just feel that I've got my sanity, and that's a blessing. And I've got my ability to just do stuff with that sanity and that focus energy, and build on my CV. And I'm going to be a student, whatever happens. And I'm going to do a degree, and then I'm going to get a job, and then I'm going to stay in that job, and then hopefully do something interesting that I like. That's the aim. That's why I need to do this degree, because I will need to do something interesting. And the more skilled I am, the better. So Black Friday is around the corner. I don't have money to buy anything. So I've got all my money in crypto and stocks and shares. So I can't touch it, so I can't spend it, which is good. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll just burn through it all and wouldn't be better off, would be worse off. So, all things considered, I've just basically had a good time, really. Everything's been going well, and this podcast setup has got the light switch up there and the door, and pillows behind me, and got my facial hair, and you can see my facial hair because the quality is that good, and I'm very happy to shaving is like for people with you know, for people with time and people that want to look good and stuff. But I don't shave very often. I shave like once every month, once every 2 months. And if I have a beard that I'm proud of, I'll probably won't shave at all. And I don't know if I'm proud of this beard because you can still see skin, still see the cheeks. Liverpool are a sketchy situation. 4 of their defensive players have got injured, and Mo Salah's got the coronavirus. So really, he's an attacking player. It's really like and it's just terrible. We're meant to be playing Leicester on Sunday, and they're a good team, and we've um got to try and beat Leicester without all these players. But at least we've got a good goalkeeper. That's quite important. Because when our goalkeeper's injured, I feel like everything goes to pot. Everything goes down the pan. But we got all that sorted. So what are we gonna do with this time that I have on air? We are just going to contemplate how privileged I am to be able to just be settled and do what I like and not have any obligations. It's quite comforting. Um, it does make yourself feel a little bit less useful when you haven't got any obligations and responsibilities. But, and yeah, there's something strange about going to work. It gave you a sense of like, oh yeah, I'm doing something with my life and I'm working, even though I didn't like what I was doing. That whole working thing you get into, you just felt good about the things you were doing. And everything went well, more or less. And I'm happy with that. Yeah. And I managed to get my computing qualification, so I can get more computing qualifications and I can focus on things that truly matter to me and things that I care about. The thing about facial hair is you start playing with it. I don't like calling it a beard because it's not a beard. Some people call it a beard. I feel like I need 80 to 90% coverage to call it a beard. I've got half, maybe a bit more than half. Yeah, but yeah. Yeah, this audio experience is good as well, isn't it? This podcast audio is very good. Very pleased about it all. The listeners out there listening in their car. Yeah, yeah. So, or just listening in general. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the time. Appreciate the space and energy that people put into everything. It's strange to think I'm on someone else's device and the things I say matter. And I find myself still on the podcast and like, what do I say now? Wow. So my background, I can do maths, I can do physics, I did a little bit of chemistry, I can do computers, and I can do even more computers, and I can get a very lucrative job, I believe, and I have a plan. Yeah, so that's all good. And I'm going to stay well, stay on my head medication. It keeps me in check and keeps me stable and means that I'm able to sleep. So I can do all that and I can just focus on other parts of my life. So this morning I took some vitamin supplements and a pill that I haven't taken before because I did have these 3D printed gel things. But that now I'm going to have actually one of the ingredients from 3D printers is a maca powder that helps with energy and stuff. So that was important to me because the medication I'm on with the head, mental health medication, that makes you more drowsy and sleepy. So I'm trying to take this supplement that makes me feel awake. So that's some sort of maca powder, and it's also got zinc and vitamin B6 and B12, all good stuff to have. And it's meant to make me feel more awake and feel able to do stuff. I was a bit of a letdown. My favourite podcast, Andrew Schulz, is busy away doing something special, and the comedian, he's the main guy, so they replaced him on the Tuesday podcast, but the Patreon, they've had to not do it because the other guy got coronavirus. There's lots of things to consider, lots of different aspects of what's going on. So, have I talked about everything? Nope, of course not. But I've just got an email saying that I'm live on my channel. Brilliant. Isn't that great? See what I could go on my phone and watch it on my phone, but I'd hate to confuse the audio thing that's happening. I've got my microphone on my chest, and I would hate to ruin that. Yeah. So all things considered, there's a lot of cables that make this possible. A lot of people I'd like to thank, and a lot of cables and wiring and everything. And yeah, and I just hope that everything all works out, everything checks out, all the boxes are checked out, and everything is all in working order. Yeah, I kind of wish I was doing a college thing now, because having something to work on, having something to focus on, makes you feel good. Um, yeah, but I think it's probably all in good time, because I can focus on podcasting, making podcasts, and watching podcasts. Have a podcast heavy world, and that'll be very interesting, very enlightening. I'm happy to say that I am still doing the Peter Repeater, even all this time later. It's a sort of play on words, because it says Peter and in the repeater, and it's a repeat of my name in the title. Something that I've put a lot of energy towards and a lot of focus on that title, because I keep on saying it every episode. So this is my ramblings. Apparently my book reads like a conversation. Very happy about that. I've got lots of printed copies that I don't know what to do with. I bought 250 of them, just so people could read them one day. I've got to try and find a book deal or something, or maybe just start selling them myself on eBay. Don't know why people go to eBay to buy books, but or I just give it to a Christian bookstore and let them sell them or something. I can get some sort of book dealings, something like that. So, has everybody had a nice time with this podcast? I most certainly have. I'm just going to look at the time to see where I'm at and how I'm doing. Okay. Right. I can figure that out. So yeah, the video is working the whole time, because I've got a live stream set up here, and it's quite nice for the video to work the whole time. Having it live is really quite useful. So what do I want to do with my life? I've thought about learning languages, but they're very hard to learn. They are. Yeah, so might have to refocus on something else. I've got all the gear now I do with my language software, but I'm sure I can get over that. Yeah, so I've got all the means to have my podcast up and running, have it live streaming, and it all working correctly. So I like watching Holby City with my family and or with my mum, and yeah, there's this lots of characters, and they're changing and they have conversations, and it's all to do with the surgery side of hospital, and I've had surgery before, so I can relate to it a little bit, and saving lives and all that, doctors, nurses, and all of the above. Yeah. I'm reading this book, but in the book it keeps on referring to the book. It's like, in this book you will learn this, and in this book this is going to be talked about, and later on in chapter 44 you'll find this out about the book. And it's just all very tiresome. but I am gonna read the book. I only mentioned my book in my book, I think once. That was enough for me. This guy has done it like 5 times in the first like 20 to 30 pages. So, all things in good timing. Yeah, I have to really work on myself to try and not buy technology and not spend money because it really is quite easy. And looking around my room, I've just got that's Amazon, okay. That was Laptops Direct, that's Amazon, that's eBay, that's Amazon. And it's just like, oh yeah, I bought everything from somewhere. And I'm just looking around my room and like everything arrived in the post one time or another. It's quite rare for something not to have done. So I just hope that I could stop spending stuff because I need to save up for a house deposit so I can have a house one day, because that's how you get, renting is not as good as having a house, and you need a house deposit, and I might as well start saving now, otherwise I'll never get into the saving. Because I had a job for over a year, didn't save a thing, spent it all. It was worth it, but yeah, it's just spent it all. Just I need to refocus my energy and just get on the fact that I can have a good time and have the most out of my money. And funny enough, the book that keeps on referring to itself in the book is about money. I don't know what I'm going to learn. Like, so far they started saying, oh, we live in a free country, you can just go and start a business and stuff, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. Most of the time you just got to have a job and stick with it. Yeah. So what does my future have? I have a degree I'm studying. You're going to hear that a lot on this channel. And I'm going to have a bit more than that. I'm going to get a job that I actually like because it'll be higher skilled and stuff like that. And then I'm going to be living by myself unless I have a flatmate or a girlfriend. I think it'll be a girlfriend because I like girls. All these things to happen in the future. I might have a family. So all these things that can happen that don't necessarily happen from square one. But I can consider all these things. So in the Spotify it says, "This is Peter trying not to repeat himself," and I do repeat myself, and I thank you for bearing with me on this one. And hopefully, as more things happen, I can talk about actual things like that are interesting. Or did I just hit my microphone? But you talk about actual like substances of what's going on in the world and making fun of everyone and having a commentary on like real world events. I could probably do that, but I'm not like necessarily a stand-up comedian. But I try. It's actually incredibly difficult to do a podcast well, and I feel like I'm doing it, and doing it well will come with practice, and I hope I can join you on that journey of doing podcasts well, and I appreciate you staying here with me. So let me do a plug-in. I've got a minute left, but let me just give you a little bit of an overview of what I'm advertising here on my channel. There's a book here. You see this book? I wrote this book. It's very thin. It's got 63 pages and it's got lots of words on each and every page, and it's about God, and I'm not sure about God, and this whole book is about being not sure about God, and it's part of what I was writing before I became mentally ill. But yeah, so I'm fine about God, but I don't have a clue. But I put it in a book so I don't have to think about it again. It's called An Unbelievable God by Peter Newing, Newing, and you can find it on Amazon, and just read it, really. And if you want a free copy, then I'll let you know when it's free. But it's not free very often. You have to pay for it. I have to put it on the cheapest possible. But thank you. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you all. And go watch Joe Rogan. Catch up for lost time. Okay. Till next time. Bye for now.